This is an Idea Dimension podcast interview. I'm here with Sophie.
Hi.
Hello, Sophie.
Hello.
We're going to be talking about yoga, aren't
Yes,
we?
yes.
And dinosaur eggs.
And dinosaur eggs.
Yeah. So, like yoga, like what's all that?
Well, that's a very broad question there, Tom.
It is.
Well,
Yeah,
yoga, by
when did
definition.
yoga start?
When did yoga start? Many years ago. Many years ago. It's probably one of the oldest practices that human beings have dates of.
Sure.
The word yoga means unity by definition. So that is the aim and idea behind yoga, is to unify the mind and the body and the spirit along with the outer environment. And
Makes sense.
the reason people use movement and breath to do that is because once you can connect the breath and the movement, it's easier to connect the mind and the body. And then once you can connect the mind and body, you become present in your senses, you become present in your sensations, becoming more connected to the spirit. And then through that connectivity in yourself, it reflects outwardly into the universe.
Interesting.
What I'm about to say isn't something I've read anywhere. It's an idea that I have kind of plopped up in my head.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the holographic theory of the universe? Everything's like tiny little images of itself. Everything's all holographic. So I think of that in yoga a lot, because I think once you have that connectivity inside, it just reflects to outside. You know?
Yeah.
Like the more I connect to myself, the more I find it easier to connect to all these other beings around me. The more I become in tune with my own energy, the more I can become in tune with my students' energy as they walk in the room, other people's energy as I meet them.
That makes sense. Because you're working on something that doing yoga, I mean, I've done it a few times in your classes.
Yes, you have, yeah.
And other people's classes, but I'm by no means an expert, but you know, I'm trying to do more. But when working on yourself, because yoga is not just the physical, is it? Although some of it is very, very difficult. But doing the breathing, which I find really hard to do because I don't practice enough and all that sort of stuff. But I suppose
As your teacher.
I know. Right? But if you are working on, kind of like going to the gym as well, and just working out, and like you get a mind-muscle sort of relationship, and that only comes after time of doing it. I suppose the time doing yoga, you are focusing on your breath. You are focusing on where your body either positions, but also your state of mind doing it, which is kind of the point, right? So the more you do that, the more that's gonna overlap into every other aspect of your mind and what you're thinking about, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So like if you're a yoga practitioner and you're doing it on a daily basis, 2-3 hours after that, you're probably still in that zone, or more in that zone compared to someone who doesn't do yoga.
Yeah.
So you're walking around interacting with people. It does kind of become your life, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it becomes like the energy you carry. It's like someone said to me once that yoga is gym for the mind.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the movement. You have the stillness, you have the meditation, and then you have the yamas for the discipline of the body and your discipline of your morals and stuff. They have all these different areas of yoga that's not just the movement. And then because like you say, it carries on in your whole life. It's in everything you do. It's in the way I interact with people. It's in the way I treat plants. It's in the way I treat my animals. You know, it's everywhere. In yoga, you have this thing called, I can never pronounce it properly. Let me see.
I think it's pronounced yoga.
No, it's pronounced. Let's have a look. It's one of the it's one of the 8 limbs of yoga that means withdrawing from the senses.
Okay.
It's called pratyahara, something like this. I can never say this word properly. It kind of makes me feel like that. It makes me feel like it's a being that's withdrawing from the senses and becoming this blob of conscious sensation.
Interesting.
Like with all the feet and the hands and like the being that's like twisted up in the middle.
Okay, so say it again, because now I'm recording.
So I'm saying that this picture makes me think of one of the 8 limbs of yoga, the pratyahara. I can't really say it properly, but it means withdrawing from the senses. And this, to me, like as an image, would be how that feels, to withdraw from the senses and just become this like conscious being that's existing through energy rather than sensation.
Interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, so not necessarily a physical form, but just...
Yeah. It's like not being tied down to an individual form of being human.
I understand.
Like it was feet, its hands on places. Eggs.
So, dinosaur eggs.
Dinosaur eggs.
So I can't remember where we got to before we had camera.
We were
problems.
talking about the reflection of yoga in everyday life, I believe.
So, how did you get into doing yoga, and why yoga versus CrossFit or something else?
So, I tried a little bit of yoga when I was young, when I was like 15 with my sister. Very, very little. I'd never really understood what it was about. It was just kind of some movements I saw my sister do that I wanted to copy, you know. And growing up, I was always quite I didn't know, but I was a spiritual person, but I didn't have no idea. I just thought I was just strange, and that's just how I believed and how I felt, you know. And I found myself thinking about this big net of consciousness that was surrounding us, this like connectivity that was involved in everything. And then one day my mum was like, I want to go do a yoga retreat and I want you to come. And I was like, okay, cool. And I wasn't really practicing that much at this point in time. Like maybe like once a week, again, not really understanding what I was actually doing.
Just doing like the fundamentals.
Exactly. And then, so I went to India with my mum for a whole month, and we did a teacher training out there together. And I came to realise that a lot of the beliefs behind yoga was stuff I already believed and stuff I already felt and stuff I already understood.
Right.
It was almost like giving a label to my own beliefs that I thought were individual. And I think as well through the movement, like if we're just talking about the biological side of it, when I was doing all the movement, I could feel the aches and pains that I had in my body previously disappear.
Wow.
Like I used to have really bad lower back pain, and now that's gone. And that's just down to the fascia movement of the yoga.
Wow.
I think people neglect fascia a lot, and I think that's one of the reasons why I do the yoga, why I practice yoga is to exercise that fascia and use those parts of my body, keep myself young and connected. I think when I was there, it really connected with me, and not only the yoga itself and the beliefs behind it and the feeling. It was also about the idea of being able to share that with other people, being able to teach that to other people, being able to hold that space for other people. Yeah, was something that I really, really, really enjoyed the thought of. I think. So then after that, I came home, lived my normal life, worked really hard, and then I went back to India for about 5 months to teach and learn more about yoga. And I had lots of inner and outer body experiences during that time that to me registered that this was the right thing to be doing. Yeah, it confirmed your initial thought that this is for me. Exactly, yeah. And the thing is I feel like when I first came back from being in India, everyone there is all about, not everyone, but like the people that I was around specifically, obviously, because I was in that environment, were all about yoga. And they all wanted to do yoga, and they were all very passionate about yoga, about being creative, about being wholesome, about, you know, finding ways to improve and grow and be healthy and be positive about themselves. Yeah. And then when I came back home, I felt that was nowhere in sight. Like my friends, my family, they're all, you know, stuck in this kind of perpetuating negative cycle of themselves, you know? And I came to realise that yoga isn't for everyone. And there's so many yogis and so many yoga teachers that would probably hate me saying that, because everyone says yoga's for everyone. If you have a body, if you have breath, you can do yoga, which is true. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to help you in the same ways that it helped me. That's a really interesting concept, actually. And I know what you mean. I think I probably agree with you. Just like MMA fighting, boxing isn't for everyone. Yeah. Everyone can do it if you're trained and everything, but some people gravitate towards that more than other people. Yeah. Like the idea of being punched in the face, probably most people's worst thing. But obviously, if you're training to fight, you've got to get used to that, right? Exactly. And some people kind of run into that, some people run away from that. Same with
mountain climbers. Anyone could learn to climb a mountain, but you have to have that kind of burning desire to I'm going to climb up this mountain and possibly die from it, either from hypothermia, from falling, whatever. I have to do it. Me personally, like, I don't need to do it.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I think you're right that it's not necessarily for everyone, but you were open to those lessons before you went.
Exactly. I also think, like, although I say yoga's not for everyone, I think the benefits behind it are. And I think you can put that into any practice, into any sport. For example, if we take MMA again, like you said.
Yeah.
The mobility you get from MMA, the cardio support you get from MMA, all these different things that you get for your body, for your health, like coordination, being able to feel someone's energy and sense where they're going to move to be able to fight back, you know, all those things are all very helpful to every single human being on the planet.
Yeah.
But doing them via MMA may not be. And I think it's the same with yoga, like being able to get that self-discipline, that understanding, that kindness, that awareness in your body is something that would 100% improve the world if everyone could obtain it. But I don't think yoga is the path to that for everybody.
Yeah. That's funny that you mentioned that, actually, just because I was going to sort of say, with the world being so chaotic at the moment, or being perceived as being so chaotic, financial, politics, everything else, would the problems we're facing in society, would that be benefited from a basic level of yoga, awareness of yoga?
I would 100% agree.
Even if it's just self-awareness.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I would 100% agree, because I feel like a lot of, like, if you take politicians and stuff and people in power, you know, again, I don't know a lot about politics, I must admit.
Sure.
But I think we can all agree that a lot of politicians are greedy.
Sure.
And a lot of politicians are very kind.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with that self-awareness, with being able to feel that unity from yoga, feeling that connectivity with your fellow human, your fellow animal, your fellow atmosphere, that greed, that kindness has no room, it has no space to grow.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I feel like if every politician did yoga and became aware in that way and managed to feel that connectivity, managed to feel that self-love, that love for the fellow peer, that love for the fellow animal, love for the atmosphere, things would change. Life would massively change. But unfortunately, for that to happen, people have to let go of their materialistic desires, their greed, their money, their comfort even, because yoga is not... Everyone says yoga makes you so relaxed, it makes you so relieved, it gets you to go to bed, it blah blah blah, makes you so happy, but it doesn't. It does, in some ways, but ultimately yoga shows you the parts of yourself that you need to improve, that you need to grow on, that need source, that need reference, that need growth, you know, and that's not relaxing.
No, that's challenging.
Exactly, it's super duper challenging, and it's not relaxing. Like, imagine if you are this politician that's super greedy, that wants all his money and doesn't care about the atmosphere and regularly smokes and drinks and does all these things that is...
Nigel Farage.
Yeah. You know, taking a step back and looking at yourself in that way is going to be so harmful to your ego. Yeah. It's going to break down the person you thought you were. It's going to, especially as an adult, it's going to break down the person that you've created yourself to be. And then you're going to have to start from scratch. That's fucking hard. That's so hard. Sure. That's unbelievably hard. Like, before I started yoga, I was doing drugs and, you know, not necessarily being kind to people and not necessarily being the best person I could be. And it's hard, you know, to be aware of yourself and look at yourself and be like, oh no, I actually did that wrong. I fucked up. I need to be better in this way. I need to improve in this way. It's starting from scratch. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of letting go.
What would be the first step for anyone who hasn't been to a yoga class, perhaps there isn't one near them, that just wants to do something basic where they feel they could either get on this path or just for the benefit of movement and getting rid of back pain, whatever? What are the basics?
I would say basics are, in terms of the biological health of things and just getting your body into shape, I would say looking at fascia-based movements. So just going onto Google, going onto YouTube, looking at fascia-based movements, trying to replicate those in your home. And then in terms of the connectivity, awareness, spirituality side of yoga, it's going to sound very simple, but stillness, meditation. Taking like 5 minutes a day just to focus on your breath and try and sit with that and keep going and keep going. And I think I meet so many people in life who say, oh, no, I just can't do that. I just can't sit still. I just can't do it. I just want to... But that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. Everybody starts there. Like, I have ADHD. I rugby, climbing, all these things, right? I always want to be doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So meditation is hard. It's really, 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 really hard for me. But I think the two main things that help me personally with meditation is the breath. So focusing on the breathing, trying to bring your focus back to the breathing, and also not being fixated on that focus. So not feeling attached to the idea of having to be focused. So when my focus goes off and I'm suddenly thinking about something else, I'm not sitting there getting annoyed at myself, being like, oh, I can't believe I can't do this, because it's just breaking your focus. It's just breaking your self-love. It's just breaking that flow. So you have to be gentle and just keep bringing it back, keep bringing it back, keep bringing it back, because you know, we're humans and we have really, really horribly busy brains, and it's almost impossible to get that stillness, to get that focus, to get that silence. So you have to accept that that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, there's resistance.
Exactly. You have to accept the fact that sitting still for 5 minutes is going to be really, really hard, and you're not going to be able to focus on your breath, and it's going to take a lot of time. Like, the mind is like a muscle, you know? You have to train it just like you would in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, nobody walks into a gym and can bench like 200 kilos straight away, you know?
Sure.
Same, nobody walks into a yoga class and can sit still for the whole 5-10 minutes of grounding in the beginning. Same thing.
But the more you do it, the better you get.
100%, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I have bad days, you know? I think every yogi, every meditator has bad days where their brain is like... But you just keep going, you keep going.
I think that's good advice. That's very wise. Thank you, Steve.
It's okay, it's okay.